Hey guys, we're here at the Still Motion Grip House with Jenny.
Hey everyone. You know what? I'm really in the mood to do some sit-ups.
Awesome. That's a perfect segue, because today we're going to talk to you about focus. Everybody loves the shallow depth of field that Canon DSLRs offer, but the challenge that presents is how do you maintain focus with such a shallow depth of field? So the first thing we're going to talk about in relation to focus is aperture. And what we want to keep in mind here is that the more closed our aperture is, the deeper depth of field we have. So obviously that's going to mean it's easier to hold focus. So as Jenny's doing her sit-ups here, I'm going to start at f1.4, and we'll see that as she is doing her sit-ups, I can generally hit pretty close to focus almost every time. But what we notice is she goes out of focus throughout the move. So if we wanted to make this easier on ourselves, we'd stop down to say f4. So now I'm at f4, and what we notice right away is that it's easier to hit focus at the beginning and end, but she also stays in focus throughout the move. So we started with a 35mm lens. Now we're going to try a 50mm. As our focal length gets higher, our depth of field gets shallower. So we want to think of our focal length in conjunction with our aperture. We're going to try the exact same thing as we did before. We'll have Jenny do some sit-ups, and we're going to start at 1.2, the most open aperture this lens offers. So as she's doing her sit-ups here, now we'll notice, compared to the 35, she goes in and out of focus more so. And it's a lot tougher for me to hold focus and hit focus throughout her move, especially with the speed she's moving. So like before, we're going to stop down to make it easier on ourselves. So now I'm at f4, and we'll see it's easier to hit focus throughout the move, as well as at the beginning and end. Now another thing to keep in mind, a little tip, is that as she gets closer to me, I turn the lens right. As she gets further away, I turn the lens left. Now that's the same for all Canon lenses, and just taking a moment to realize that makes it a lot easier to hit focus.
So another great tip we have for you guys is to use your finger as a knockoff follow focus. So what I'm going to do here is focus on Jenny's face, and I'm going to place my finger at the top of the focus ring, and then as Jenny starts exercising, I'm going to focus on her hands, and then by returning my finger back to the top of the focus ring, I'm hitting focus accurately every time. Different lenses feel slightly different while focusing. Some lenses will actually have more resistance than others in the focus ring. And our suggestion is to actually go out, shoot, get a good feel for all your lenses until focusing becomes very natural to you. One thing to keep in mind while using Canon EF and EFS lenses, the focusing ring will actually spin past the closest and farthest focusing points on your lens. As you can see here, I can keep spinning the barrel and it will spin past infinity, in which case my focusing markers are no longer accurate.
So the last thing we're going to talk about are some devices we use to help tell when we're in and out of focus. One of the most common is the Zacuto Z-Finder. We love this because it's super small, adds another contact point, which is great when you're using a monopod, and the size is perfect for run and gun work. It also doubles as a perfect way to see your screen outside because it blocks out the sun. Another option is the Cinovate Cyclops. We often use this with their simplest base plate so that it'll attach right to the bottom here. It also allows you to keep your head away from the camera, but still get that magnification. So what if I want to focus, but I don't want an optical viewfinder? And it's a very valid question.
What's the solution to that?
Well, then we go to monitors. So something we use a lot on commercial shoots, the Small HD DP6. Now this little baby's awesome because it takes Canon batteries as one of the options, which means we don't have to go to another battery solution. When you get into monitors, you get some really cool features. Things like peaking, which will exaggerate your lines that are in focus. And you can get one-to-one magnification. Those of you that use Canon cameras are very familiar with being able to zoom in to check focus. With a monitor, you can actually zoom in while recording to check focus. This is the newest addition to our lineup. Zacuto recently came out with their EVF. What's really nice about this is, notice how small it is. It's got HDMI pass-through, so that means that we can actually hook up a second monitor if, say, you wanted to see it and you were directing the shoot while I was actually shooting. What a lot of people don't know is you can take that Z finder you already have and it works with DVF. It pops right on here, and now you can see much better outside, and it magnifies this screen as well.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you picked up some great tips today on focusing.
I hope you enjoyed my sit-ups.
And check out the Canon Digital Learning Center for more great tutorials.